What's up, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to grow a water damage restoration business even if you struggle with sales. Specifically, we're going to show you how to do it using the servant marketing method. Stop selling, start serving. Guys, here's the deal. You've heard that you've got to be good at sales and marketing to grow a company. And while you might think that's true, here's what I can tell you. That's not what I found to be true in my own case. Why? Because I was horrible at sales and even worse at marketing, yet I was still able to build a successful company that made millions of dollars. How did I do it? The servant marketing method. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video, although my wife just called. So here's the deal, guys. If you own a restoration company and sales is not your strength and you still want to grow a big successful company, you do not want to miss this video. Let's go. All right, guys, as we get started, hit the like and subscribe button, drop a comment down below, and let me know where you are tuning in from. Look, when it comes to growing a company, sales and marketing, these are important things, okay? But here's what I can tell you. I was not good at it. In fact, I was really bad at it, okay? And in this video, I'm gonna share with you how I overcame that, okay? And here's what I will tell you. Here's what I found to be true in the end. Not only do you not have to be good at sales and marketing, but I found that you can actually be more successful when you are bad at sales and marketing. And it's gonna make more sense as I tell you throughout the video, okay? So here's the deal. When you're not good at sales and marketing, you've got to find ways to compensate, right? And this is what we wound up doing. So we came up with the servant marketing method. Stop selling, start serving. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to walk you through my journey of how I did it. First off, here's what I did do right in the beginning. And this is something that you need to know as you are launching your company. You need to know, number one, what is it you're going to do and who are you going to serve? How are you going to get customers? Okay, how are you going to get customers? And so for me, my original plan when I first launched my first company was Simple Solutions. I started out as a handyman company, okay? And I knew that I was going to target real estate agents because I knew that real estate agents, they wound up having these little buyer inspection reports, and these would be things that would be brought up in the 11th hour at closing, okay? And they had a happy buyer and a happy seller, and all of a sudden Inspector Gadget flies in and he produces, boom, this 28-page report of all of these things that are threatening to kill the deal. Okay, that is a painful thing. The real estate agent doesn't want that. The buyer wants it fixed. The seller doesn't want it to pay that much. So like, I knew that that was my moment to jump in. And so what my plan was, I was going to serve real estate agents, okay, and they were going to allow me to jump in there and fix that buyer's report for them, all right? And in exchange for that, they would tell other agents about me. So that would be spreading the word that way. And the other thing would be, once someone buys a home, it's more often than not that they need to get flooring work or bathroom remodels or paint work, etc., right? I needed to get in on that transaction as it occurred, okay? And so that was the deal. I wanted to target real estate agents. And another reason why I targeted real estate agents was this. Their information was everywhere, okay? Like, for instance, here's the reason why adjusters are not good referral partners in restoration. Where are you gonna find a list of adjusters? You're not gonna find one, okay? So here's the deal with real estate agents. They are like butterflies. They freaking throw their information out everywhere. I mean, real estate agents put their name, their phone number, their email, their mobile number. Like, they are just dying for you to call them. And I knew that if they're easy to get a hold of, if I can solve a pain for them, like if I can reach them, I can solve their pain. So I started out with real estate agents. Now, I was still going to do construction, right? So that was how I was going to go. But just know this, like, you need to know who you're going to serve. For me, it was going to be real estate agents. How was I going to serve them? Fixing that inspection report. Then I just need to get in front of them, okay? Now, if you think about it, I was not even in sales or marketing, okay? All I knew is I had a list of people and I knew what problem they had and I wanted to serve them, okay? I wasn't good at sales. I wasn't good at marketing, but I was starting to learn and understand the value of relationships. And if I could jump in there like Superman and solve their problem and they could still salvage this closing, then they would want to use me over and over and over again. And they might even tell their other agents about me, okay? So it is really important in terms of a business plan for you to know that. Who are you going to serve? Right? And then how are you going to get to them? And so in my first business, real estate agents wound up being the one. Now, let's fast forward. Let's get into restoration, all right? After I dallied around a little bit in water damage restoration, we finally figured out that we were going to do water specifically and not mess with the fire and everything else. So we had eventually consolidated everything into water, and we had figured out that, hey, we want to do work on residential properties. We like those better than we do like mobile homes, right? Or apartments, etc. We like single family residences. Why? Because the policies are much more straightforward on a single family residence. So I'm just telling you all this, like, get your notepad out, all right? Number one, single family residences are the best structures for you to do water damage, okay? Why? Because the policies are more straightforward. When you get into condos and HOAs and everything else, it gets really hairy really fast. Some HOAs pay for this, the floor but not the walls but not the floor. There's 2 deductibles, everybody's pointing fingers. That is a mess, okay? And then one unit up top floods the one below and the one below. Well, you got to get 3 work authorizations signed. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. That does not exist in residential water damage. So note to self, if you don't know who you're going to serve, you want to go after single family residences, okay? So what's the best way to get in touch with them and in front of them? Who do they call when they have a leak? A plumber. So I figured out, hey, we're going to serve plumbers. Why? Because they're going to put us in touch or in front of people that own homes that have water damage, right? So go back to this. I wasn't good at sales, wasn't good at marketing, but all I did know is I knew who I wanted to serve. I knew who I needed to be in front of, and that was it, okay? And this is really where servant marketing kind of takes off, right? So if we go back and we look at my first business, the handyman business, Simple Solutions eventually grew into a 7-figure business, but it wasn't doing handyman stuff. We got into remodels and additions and construction, and then we got into restoration too, okay? But just know that we hit the 7-figure mark after we did the handyman stuff. We weren't doing $1 million of handyman work. But just know this, I began to figure out who I wanted to serve, and that's who I started to go after, okay? And then eventually, water damage kept calling my name, just like everybody else. You don't start out in water damage, you typically wind up there, okay? And so that's what we did as well. We kind of migrated over into water damage because we'd heard about the insane margins, which are insane if you're doing it right, okay? But nonetheless, if you want to learn more about that, go to workwithshane.com. We get on a 15-minute call, and I can show you how we launched our company. We do the same thing for you in 30 days, okay? So just know this. I knew who I wanted to serve, and I knew what their pain was, but getting in front of them wasn't good for me. So honestly, I just made a list. I started cold calling them. I started trying to feed them breakfast. And here was really my pitch. Just try me. Just try me. Let me try and do something for you. And so ultimately I got in front of the agents, but when it came to getting in front of the plumbers, I kind of struggled, okay? And I'd even joined a $34,000 coaching program, and I'll save this for you now. I'm going to tell you right now for free what they essentially told me. Find plumbers, be willing to pay them more than anybody else. That's what I paid $34,000 for. Now, here's the deal. It doesn't really work that way. I found that I still struggled, and for a few different reasons. Number one, some of the plumbers were just whores for money, okay? They were just going to prostitute the relationship out and leave me for the next guy that paid more money. So if you are going to work with plumbers, you can't work with somebody and it be about money alone. You cannot work with a plumber if it's going to be about money alone, because they're always going to take the next higher person, and the same reason why you can't build a team of employees that are always going to leave you for the next higher dollar, okay? Now, it's okay to pay employees and it's okay to pay referral fees, but it can't be about money alone. Okay, does that make sense? But here's what I tell you to be true, or at least here's what I found to be true. Once we had the plumbers and the ones that, some of them that wanted to take referral fees, even though I wanted to pay them more, they wouldn't call me. They still wouldn't give me a shot. Okay, and some of them would try me once or twice, but here's my point to you: just offering them more money is not always enough. Okay, partly because while some companies do take money from other restoration companies, there's still an underlying relationship there. Okay, so you still got to kind of build that relationship. So here's the deal. We had one specific plumber. This was Hiller Plumbing in Nashville. Okay, I had met one of the branch managers, or I knew one branch manager, but this is kind of funny. That branch manager hadn't used me, so he knew me. He wouldn't use me yet, so it's we were friends, but he's not going to take the shot with me. But I wound up using him to get in with another branch manager, and so ultimately, here's what I did. I just started saying, hey, I can help you. I can pay referral fees to your guys, but here's the other thing. The branch manager doesn't really care if you pay his guys referral fees. That it's not solving his pain. That is not solving his pain. You have to figure out what are you going to do to serve him? How are you going to solve his pain, okay? Because here's what I found to be true. Even if I am solving the pain of the technician by paying him a referral fee, I'm not solving the general manager or the owner's needs, okay? Because he's not getting that referral fee. And if he gets it, he doesn't really want it, okay? He owns a business, okay? Or if he's a branch manager, he's not going to take part of that money anyway, all right? So I had to find something different. And this is where the servant marketing method came in. Here's what I knew. I was getting just super frustrated, all right? And if I haven't told you already, the servant marketing method's mantra is this: stop selling, start serving, okay? Stop selling, start serving. And I just knew that I would be willing to do anything for these guys. I would freaking walk on my hands and knees through sewage in the crawl space at midnight if they would just call me. Just try me. And I could not get them to try me. And so ultimately my message went from Call me, I'll pay a referral fee. Call me, we do great work. Call me, we'll send you leads. All these other things that everybody else promises. Ultimately, it became this. I got good at begging. I was like, hey, just call me with anything. Like literally anything. I don't care what time it is. I don't care how far away it is. Please just give me a shot. Please. And it was it. I started begging for the opportunity to serve these people, whatever it was. Okay. And so ultimately I got the call. Okay. And I'll never forget. And I've made another video on this. You might be able to find it. And if the details are a little bit different, it's probably been 8-9 years. It's been a long time. So I forget some of the details, but essentially it was this. It was Matt Pickle down in Columbia. It was Hiller Plumbing out of Columbia. And he had finally called me with a chance to go serve them. And he said, hey, Shane, I got something for you. I was like, great, let's go. And he was like, well, I haven't told you what it is. I was like, I don't care what it is, bro. I'm there. Let's go. And so what it wound up being was they had core drilled a concrete block wall too big or in the wrong spot, and they needed it filled. Okay. Now I'm trying to grow a water damage restoration business, right? I ain't doing anything with block. I am not a mason. Does that make sense? That being said, I know a mason and I can find some mortar. And so all you got to do is find someone that's got a problem. And let me zoom out a little bit. Let me tell you guys, if you are in business, your primary job is to find a problem and solve it. If you are in business, your job is to find a problem and solve it. Whether you sell software, whether you sell coaching or consulting, whether you sell services for like being an accountant or a CPA, someone has a need. You have to find that person and meet that need. That's a problem. I don't care what you're doing, right? If they want a shirt and they ain't got a shirt and you sell e-commerce, you're solving the problem by giving them that shirt. You got to find someone with a problem and solve it. Now, if you guys are employees and aspiring to own a business, let me tell you something. You get paid for solving problems for your employer. And if you want to learn how to make more money, find a way to solve better problems for your employer. I mean, like, this is good stuff. You should write this down. You got to find a way to solve better, bigger problems. Because if you solve better, bigger problems, they ain't going to let you leave. And I will tell you this, the amount of money that you earn has a direct correlation to the amount of value that you provide for your employer. Now, this may not always hold true on day one, but it will hold true in the end. And it definitely holds true if you own a business. Now, granted, you still need to learn how to sell. You still need to learn how to price yourself accordingly. All right, those are different problems. But the amount of money that you are able to charge, okay, and the amount of money you are able to create and make out of the marketplace is directly tied to the value you provide to the marketplace. You want to make more money? Provide more value. You want to make more money? Serve more people. Really simple, okay? And so this is not limited to restoration, by the way. This is in anything. But so what I had done with Matt Pickle or whatever, I found someone that had a problem. They had a block wall, and it was an issue. I jumped on it and fixed it. Now here came down to the other thing. I'm going to share with you this story because I think this is important in showing you how you can continue servant marketing and how you can continue to shine, okay? So once I'd done the job, now I got to the point of turning in the bill. Like, how do I want to get compensated for that, okay? And I really had a few options here. Specifically, I had 3 options. So Matt and those guys were thrilled that we did it, okay? And I don't remember what I had, and I probably had $200 or $300, okay, between hiring a mason to go out there and fix it. Now, granted, I drove down there a couple times, and I didn't get compensated for that, but I had between $200 and $300 my cost in that, okay? So I asked you, how do you price that? What would you do? Option number 1, you can take that $200 and mark it up 50%, okay? Put a 50% margin on it, 200 times 2, charge you $400. Maybe you make a little money off of it. That's option 1, right? Now, there's some issues about it too, like and I don't remember, I could have had $400 in, I don't really remember, but like between $200 and $400. But option 1, you mark it up and try and make a little cash. But what if your price is too expensive for them? What if they think you're trying to get rich off of them? That's one problem. Option number 2, turn it in and just turn it in at cost, okay? So just give it to him at cost, turn in the receipt, and just say, hey, we did this. If you can just pay me back, that'd be great. I don't want to make anything. That would probably make them happy too, right? Like option 1, they'd probably be okay with it, but they might not be. You don't know. Option 2, you give it to them at cost. They're definitely not going to be upset with that, right? Like, that's awesome. Like, thank you, man. Thank you. But option 2, maybe you get their attention. But there's option 3. You know what that option 3 was? Do it for free. Do it for free. Don't charge them anything. You see, because with option 1, you could be perceived as greedy. With option 2, maybe you stand out, maybe you don't. With option 3, zero doubt. You stand out, you shine, okay? And let's just assume I had $200 or $300 in it. For $200 or $300, I get a chance to shine in front of this guy after serving him. That is servant marketing. Do you understand? That for just $300, you're able to 100% definitely make a mark. Because when you say there is no bill, now he's like, no, there's a bill. I'm like, no, there's not. There is not a bill. And in fact, I would love to have a chance to finally get in front of your guys and meet them and see if we can maybe start doing some business together. And that was the moment, okay? That was the moment. He finally gave me something. I went down there, knocked it out of the park, crushed it, and then I did not even turn in an invoice or a bill. And I completely got his attention, and I begged for the next opportunity. Wouldn't take his money. I would advise you don't take their money either, okay? And then eventually I got in front of him, and I was able to then start paying the referral fee, as little as it was. And yeah, that kind of kicked off kind of my career. The next thing I knew, I was doing it in Columbia. I was doing it up in Clarksville, over in Murfreesboro, and instantly we went just like from having nothing to do to being pretty well covered up, okay? And just a matter of weeks. Just a matter of weeks, because we had 3 locations. Each one of those locations probably had 8 trucks, okay? ADD pro tip, a lot of you guys here will think, hey, Shane, I don't want to go call on this plumber because if I call him and land him, we can't handle all that work, okay? Let me tell you something. You can handle the work you're going to get, okay? And you ain't going to get all that work. The biggest problem that I wind up seeing from restoration contractors is they don't take enough action because they're scared that they're going to get more than they can handle, okay? And that just does not happen, okay? That's not what happens, right? Just think of it this way. You get 51 million sperm cells, but you ain't got but one baby coming out of there, okay? I'm serious. But here's the deal, guys. You can put as much input as you want. There's only one baby coming out after you get pregnant, maybe 2, right? Let's say it a little bit differently. Even if you are lucky and they give you a bunch of jobs, okay, your operations will always limit how much you can sell, okay? And so the problem is not you get too much work and you drop the ball. The problem is you don't put enough effort and you don't get enough work to stay alive. I'm gonna say that again. The problem is not you do the inputs and you get too much work, you drop the ball, and then you lose the relationship. No, that's not what happens. The problem is you don't do enough inputs, you don't get enough work, and then you starve. Don't do that, okay? Whatever you think it takes, multiply it times 10, right? 10x rule, baby. So to kind of bring this in for landing, the servant marketing method is stop selling, start serving. And I just knew in my heart that if these guys would just give me a chance, I would be willing to work harder, drive further, do whatever that anybody else wouldn't do. Just give me a chance. And that's eventually what I got. And guess what? I knocked it out of the park, okay? And so I still try to do that today. If you guys notice, the servant marketing method for me that I do now, do you know what it is? It's right here. I'm talking to you right now. Nobody pays me for this, okay? I do this every Friday, okay? I take time out of my day to record these videos. This is a way of me to serve you. And I do this, okay? And in the hopes that maybe one day, one of you guys might want to grow your company and you might want to allow me to help you do that. And when you do, you go to workwithshane.com, we get on a 15-minute call and we put you through a 30-day program, okay? Servant marketing method. I'm not selling you anything. There's nothing to buy. This is a free channel. But when you serve somebody over and over and over and over and over again, you build up goodwill. Okay, so I did it with the plumbers. Now I'm doing it with you guys here on the YouTube channel. And I'm telling you, this stuff works. You can do it with real estate agents. You can do insurance agents. It doesn't really matter. The servant marketing method is this. Find someone that you share a customer with and find someone that meets that customer before you do. And you serve that person. You pour into that person. Okay, and you're not being good at sales. Do you understand? You are literally begging for an opportunity to serve them. Now keep in mind, I did not tell him what I wanted to do. I said, just try me, okay? It could have been cutting the grass, could have been getting a cat out of a tree, it could have been done anything. I didn't care what it was. I would advise you not to care what it is either. Find something that they need, solve it, and then solve something else. And then as your relationship grows, then you want to search for something you can serve them with repeatedly over and over again. And hopefully you want to be doing it. Maybe somebody on your team can do it. Like literally, if they just want their grass cut, I know plenty of lawn guys that can take care of that. I might cut it myself up front, just to make sure it's all good. But like I'm telling you, you want to find out how you can serve them, number one, and then find a way to serve them in a more repeatable fashion and you can scale yourself out of it later. All right, guys, I will tell you this as well. The servant marketing method, this works best when you're not good at sales and you're not good at marketing. But I will tell you this, it doesn't hurt you to learn some sales and marketing, because you will still need to learn how to do sales, because you're going to need to sign that customer up when you're in their home looking at the water damage, okay? Sales, my friend, is really the power of persuasion, okay? Leadership, you're leading and you're persuading people with words, right? That's what true sales is, right? When you run a business, you will eventually need to be good persuading people with words, because if you can't get a customer to follow your lead, how are you going to get an employee to follow your lead? How are you going to get your children to follow your lead? I still don't know how to get the children to follow my lead. I can literally physically beat them and they still don't do what I tell them to do. I have a lot to learn in leadership, clearly. But I will tell you this, like seriously, all kidding aside, I would encourage every one of you guys, okay, to try and get better at persuasion and leadership, because you want to be able to lead your client through that water damage journey. You want to make sure that they follow your lead and not the adjuster's lead, because I promise you this, the adjuster will take them somewhere different than where you want to take them. Okay, it is very important that you onboard that customer and take care of them, right? So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, you drop a comment down below. If you want me to help you grow your company, go to workwithshane.com, put in your information. We can hop on a 15-minute call. I will see you in the next video. If you guys enjoyed that video, I've got 3 things for you. First off, there's a couple of other videos somewhere on the screen. You can click those now to go watch more content about growing your restoration company. Number 2, if you haven't already subscribed, click my face below and that will subscribe you to the channel. And finally, if you would like for me to help you grow your restoration company, go to workwithshane.com, put in your information, and let's get on a 15-minute call. We'll see you then.